And welcome to the third episode of Now We Call It From the Vine podcast with New Vine Records and association with Fish, or Who is Fish. I'm John Carter, along with Fish, and we're interviewing Rachel Beverly today. And our guest today is a force to be reckoned with. Her songwriting is catchy, authentic, and from the heart. She has about 50 shows from now till September, which is crazy.
50.
This is like her carving it back, even, from what I understand, which is pretty nuts. Please welcome Rachel Beverly to the show, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you guys for asking me on here. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I am stoked to talk.
We are excited to have you.
Thank you.
In fact, we're doing a May takeover it's like a residency at a place called The Range, and we just did a show last Friday, and it blew the doors off. There's a lot of people, and it was a lot of fun. So you did great.
I had all my shows last weekend were local shows, and it was just the type of weekend where it just really reminds you, like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I love connecting with people. I love singing. I love bringing people joy. So yeah, especially in my hometown. So
yeah, you get off the stage, we partied a little. It was fun.
It was nice. Yeah, I was hurt maybe a little bit Sunday morning, but it was worth it.
Too few many doubles.
Yeah.
What was it?
Moscow Mules with tequila.
Oh boy, those will get you every time.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to it. You had a couple questions. Start off.
So let's just start right off with it. We've been asking artists what their relationship is with music. And I think that's a really good place to jump off from. So take it away. What is your relationship to music?
Oh, a lot of things is my relationship with music. I would say first and foremost, my relationship with music is more often than not therapy. I talk a lot about this with my therapist, and it's just, especially writing and performing too out live, is just a way for me to escape a lot of things. Even when I'm at my shows and they're busy like they were at the Range, when I close my eyes, everybody kind of disappears. And sometimes when I'm open up again, I realize that, wow, I'm in a room full of people and not just by myself singing. It's a way to be heard. Sometimes I realized, I was looking for someone to listen to me or what my true values were. And music was a way to do that. And I found, like, even if nobody really was listening, at least I was telling my story, and I was getting my feelings out there. So I would say first and foremost, my relationship with music is a way for me to be therapeutic. And then it just turned into something I love. I love music. I love watching people. The reason I learned how to play guitar was because I loved watching people play guitar. I love watching people sing, and just their different takes on it.
So it's cathartic for you.
It's very cathartic for me. Yeah, it's just a deep sense of love. Yeah.
Oh. And we were talking before we started rolling that you were into musicals, and that was kind of a launching point for you. The Sound of Music specifically, and just like being a part of that production kind of like reinforced this, like, oh, I should go down this path.
I mean, we were talking. I'm a very like. I like sports, I'm a very sporty person, and they cut my basketball program when I was in 10th grade, and coincidentally, basketball was happening at the same time the musical was happening. So as you got farther into basketball, I was like, oh, you can really only dedicate your time to one thing or the other, which kind of forced me to be like, okay, I'm really going to go all into the musicals. I did that, and I was Maria in the Sound of Musical my last year in high school. And I really enjoyed it. And I told myself, when I graduate high school, I'm going to buy my first guitar. It was a Takamine Jasmine, I'm pretty sure. I Googled how to play the E minor chord, how to play the G, how to play the C.
Takamine or Takamine?
I don't know.
Potato.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't know either.
That was like one of my first guitars too.
Yeah, they're solid guitars.
I had one and I loved it, and the tone on it was like sweet in the mid range. And I hate to tell this story because Hannah, my daughter, will kill me, but she was playing with it without me knowing about it one day, and she just put it against the wall.
No.
And it just fell, and it broke right at the headstock. It snapped it, and it's indelible. It's just etched in our family history. So don't bring up a Takamine guitar to her. She doesn't.
Oh no!
It throws her back.
Oh no!
It's a sad day.
It was a sad day.
Yeah.
I like that guitar.
I ended up giving that guitar away to a young female musician who is about 12 years old. And that's another thing that I really like about playing out live and just the relationship that people have with music that you really don't know about. Like, it's just everywhere. Like, and I love singing to little kids too, because they're just so innocent and excited about it, and they're just free to express themselves with no judgment.
I've only known like one person that doesn't like music, admitted it.
Yeah.
It was a math teacher in high school, and I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, really? I mean, it's interesting, right? With babies, like you can play something and they start dancing. Like, everybody loves music.
Yeah, or it's just this like profound look of like, wow, I'm experiencing for the first time. And to be on the other side of that end, because I was that kid that was on that side of being like, wow, I'm experiencing this for the first time. And to be on, the giving end, it's just a powerful experience. And I love experiencing that over and over again.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it sounds amazing.
Thank you.
It's funny you bring up the we assume that everybody would enjoy music, but it's not always the case. I have met a select number of people that like music's actually like it bothers them, and they can't go to like live shows because it just doesn't resonate.
It's a wild phenomenon.
It's a phenomenon for sure, because it's a small minority of people, but they are out there. So I sympathize with them if they can't appreciate the music.
Yeah.
I wonder, it's like a genetic thing. What's the stuff that you eat in Mexican food? It tastes like soap for some people, and other people.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's a herb.
No,
I
know
can't
what I'm
remember the
Googling,
name.
Yeah, wow, it's interesting.
It's genetic, and it's like every time they put it in there, I was like, ugh.
Humans are complex people.
Yeah.
And then to go back to music and why you do it, right? It's like, because music, it touches on those complex emotions that you can't really put into words. And so you're essentially I don't know what would the word be, but you're like a vessel for other people to have their emotions like expressed, and you're helping people express things maybe they couldn't otherwise. So you're awesome.
Thank you.
Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Oh, and she's really good at that.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. Sometimes it bites me in the butt how empathetic I am, but it's just I love being able to relate to people, and I feel like a lot of the time music can do that. So,
well, that kind of leads into another thing we've been talking about, which is value, and maybe like perhaps being a bit too empathetic can, you said, bite you in the butt.
Yeah,
and that can happen with a lot. It happens with a lot of people, not just musicians. But as a musician, right? How do you build value for yourself? This is kind of the running theme that we've had. So I posed the question to both of you, right?
Yeah.
Like,
let's
get into
further
it.
explain. I've heard somebody say this, and actually, it's a person I respect from the band Project 86. He talks about, and I interviewed him once. It's like, what is it about music that's most important to you? The question was, and it said to build value.
Yeah.
And it was a very businessy kind of response, I thought, and I get that. But he's also been living on it for most of his life, so I can understand his response. But it's hard to do. There's so many people doing this. So how do you build value? I
guess first you ask yourself what the measure and what do you value inside yourself, and are you measuring value as success? Because if that, then it comes to a whole different meaning.
But what is success? Right? That's different.
Exactly.
That's going to look different for different people too.
Exactly. And I mean, value looks different for other. I mean, for a musician, like valuing might be playing in their room every night and learning songs and writing and never having those songs. John and I were talking about the Lake Poets a couple weeks ago. And never having your music heard, but just having it for yourself. Like that might be enough for somebody.
I keep trying to convince myself of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem.
That's a good point. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this, you talk about the human condition when you talk about value, and I think it's something that it's always going to change. My value from last summer is different from this summer, I don't think that I can answer that question today and it be the same in 6 months from now. And that's, I think, the beauty of music too, is because like I'm going to look back on, I look back on the song that we did, the first song that we did at The Reckoning, and I'm like, wow, like I have completely changed as a singer and as a human being.
Yeah.
But I say for the value of me is just being happy and content in what I'm doing and knowing that like I'm doing the best that I can and I'm having the time of my life doing it. And, you know, I might not be on the Billboard charts or selling out stadiums or doing this, but I'm happy and I know that when I lay my head down at the night that I'm doing a great job and that myself a sense of worth is there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important. I would go to the what happened with Taylor Hawkins, you know, and other rock stars, you know, Chris Cornell and these guys who you'd look at them and you'd say, like, man, these guys are like, they're so valuable. Like the music they put out and
I've heard people can like say the phrase, they're a national treasure, or
right,
you know,
right.
something like that. Yeah.
And the draw that they get,
right?
Just like, man, these guys are valuable, right? But unfortunately, it would appear that they did not see that within themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
good point.
Right, and so better to try to get that right before you get ginormous and start drawing thousands of people. Right.
We're gonna have a little segment on the podcast. Fishes, you know, what value is. Love yourself, and you'll create value.
I mean, one of my
It's true.
That's true.
One of my favorite artists, his name is Shawn Mendes, and I like him because how honest and open he is.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he recently just said on Twitter and like Instagram is that like I'm having a really hard time, and I'm having a hard time telling myself that I'm doing enough. And I'm like, here's this guy that is like selling out stadiums, that is like something that like maybe I want to be doing, you know? And I'm just telling myself, well, if Shawn Mendes is feeling this way, like it's okay that I'm feeling this way. And that's what I mean. It is the human condition. Like, and we have put celebrities and artists on such a pedestal and turn them into our own version of a superhero, because everybody needs a superhero, you know?
Yeah.
So
I have a buddy here, you know, Tyler. He produced on the last track with us that we're making right now. And Tyler's been kind of the moral compass, so to speak, in this issue. Several times we've had questions: are we valuable enough? Are we marketing artists enough? Are we where's the revenue coming from, you know, and that kind of thing. And the thing that's beautiful about a not-for-profit collective of artists is that we're not focusing as much on just that marketing piece, but actually turning inward and finding value in ourselves as artists. And I think that's a huge part of artist development. And I think you really can't get to the DNA of an artist unless you home in on that. And many times we've gone down that road, and Tyler's always the one that's like, hey guys, remember, we're doing this because we like doing it, not because everybody else likes it. And trust me, that'll come, because that genuine love for what you do, I think, is infectious.
Exactly.
To people.
Yeah, people will respond based on, you know, what you're bringing to your craft.
Right.
So if you're
authenticity.
Yeah, the authenticity, and if they see you're having an awesome time up there, and like you're bearing your soul, or you're just like you're doing your thing, like it's gonna
it's infectious.
It's infectious.
You can feel it in a room when somebody's trying too hard.
Yeah.
You walk in and they're really self-aware.
Yeah.
The comedians really can bomb shows that way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's like awkward for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I need to go to the bathroom. It's like, anyway.
Oh, do you really have to go?
No, I was just saying that's what I would say.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Generally, because I'm one of those people that watches movies where there's embarrassing things that happen, and I'm like, I can't.
Oh, like
watch.
Awkward moments?
Yeah, I can't
like
do it.
cringe-worthy things?
Oh, yeah.
You can't handle
the
that?
cringe.
And there's literally like genres of comedy that center around that. Like Larry David does that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Curb Your Enthusiasm is like built off of that.
And I get so uncomfortable during those episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I mean, you just got it. That's why that show is so successful, because it went down to the nitty grittiness of human beings. And it's just like, okay, like this is happening all the time. I like every day when I go to work, and I work in like a retail job where I see person after person, and like it happens all the time.
Oh, true. I mean, the whole premise of the show
Yeah.
is him trying to convince himself that he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And he wants everybody to know it. And he's always arguing the point with everybody. So anyway.
Do we want to go into like personal awkward moments at shows?
Ooh.
Like, was there Was there ever a moment where like you were playing to like 5 people and you're just like, oh man, like I need to get through this show? Like,
believe it or not, sometimes when you're playing to 5 people, I found out that like those are sometimes the best shows, especially in like a listening room type of thing. I feel like I have an awkward moment pretty much daily, especially like I work at the Ithaca Bakery. Yeah. So I feel like...
well, that place is built for awkward moments.
Yeah, I mean, and I just... I honestly,
part of the company
kind
ethos.
Of like... I kind of like draw almost to it. Like, and I like calling myself out on it because I like vulnerability, and I think people can relate to that. It honestly, it's just like a full circle back to
That's
it.
true. Actually, Leo from Leo and the Maydays, she's intentionally awkward.
Yeah.
Not because she says it's just what I am, so I'm gonna play hard on that.
Yeah.
And she's good at being awkward, so
I mean, hone into your
the whole
skills,
time
right?
I'm standing there though, kind of feeling awkward while she's being awkward. Yeah.
Anyway. That's good. Play to your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And back to like the value thing. It's like this is something actually I saw a little Instagram video yesterday, and the message was do not do things that are going to make yourself weak. And you could kind of interpret that in a lot of ways, but I think as an artist it's tied into the value thing. So I mean, again, you've got like 50 shows coming up in the next few months. It's fantastic. And it's like, how do you, well, I'm just curious actually, how did you set up those shows? What was like the strategy for getting those shows?
Most of them are connections that I've built throughout the 6 or 7 years that I've been playing out live. And then the winter time is a really big time off for me. So I spend a lot of it, just selling myself, emailing people, giving out business cards. Sometimes if I'm driving up like Route 89 where there's wineries and breweries, I'll pop in and be like, hey, do you guys have live music? Here's my card. It's a lot of word of mouth, and a lot of repetition. But I will say in the off months, something that I'm doing different this time is like taking care of my body, which is like working out and making sure that
I don't want to hear about this.
I'm physically fit to be able to perform 4 hours at a time.
Well, that's super important. And it's something you talk about, like not doing things that are going to make yourself weak, because you have to be able to perform at your highest level at all those shows.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I like the worst part of my show, I will say, is the breakdown part where you're breaking down and then taking stuff out to your car. And sometimes I'm 2 hours away from home alone and it's 12 o'clock at night, and I'm by myself breaking down, This is not the time to be like, I can't have a couple of drinks in and be like, okay, now I have to drive home, It's like, and then again, it's like we talk about
those choices.
Yeah.
Those choices. Yeah. I love that we're talking about this because, for any of you who are new to the podcast, we focus on regional artistry, a lot of new and upcoming artists that haven't like made it big, and I love the insight on that stuff because a lot of people have a glorified understanding of what it means to be in the music biz. And I do consider what you're doing to be strongly in the music business. And it's a lot of moments like that.
Yeah.
Making good decisions, really being disciplined in that stuff. And now you're talking about your body, which is kind of a key thing.
I hurt my shoulder last summer, which is a lot of the reason why I was kind of like, oh, I'm really wore out. Like I tore, it's called a supraspinatus, and I had to get physical therapy done. And I am stronger. Like I'm almost probably 110% back to where I was, even more so, but that didn't come without like taking time off. And like I got to the point where I couldn't even get through like one show a weekend without, and an hour in without it starting to flare
traveling
up and
and
hurting.
Playing that much, I'm sure it's tough on your body. Yeah.
So it was just
that's true for you, right?
Yeah, I got to
the drummer.
Move
He's
my
a drummer.
Drums around all the goddamn time.
It's
well, you're also
taxing.
totally physically moving all the time. I mean, that's quite the workout.
There are times after shows where it's usually select shows and depending on what I ate before I went on stage.
Yeah.
But after the show, I will go to wherever, if we have a green room or just a space behind the stage for festivals, and I just need to like be alone and breathe for 10 minutes.
Yeah, like
after
disassociate, like
to
and be able to,
rejuvenate.
Yep, and I just
Regather.
need to decompress from that.
Center yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Do
Yeah.
some yoga or something.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's a crazy thing, but I think it's a good message to pass on to other musicians, and even the pros. I'm sure there's struggles with that, where it's like you've got all this attention and friends, or you want to hang out, have a good time. It's like, but those choices, right?
Well,
those decisions you're
that's
making.
like on Saturday night when we played at the range. A
let loose a
lot
little.
of people were there, and I let loose a little bit. And when I woke up on Sunday, had to play at a winery, I was like, oh boy, here we go, And I still really much enjoyed myself, but was I hurting through the show a little bit? Yeah.
Sure.
It's tough. I'm social. I enjoy hanging with people and having a good time.
But then I think that this is something that we always talk about. I think that there is a fine line in between keeping it professional and then also, having too much fun.
I was just talking with Emma, who was on our last podcast. Today, actually, she came by and did some things. From Spazar. And Emma literally was talking about how for years they'd get together and practice and get blasted.
Yeah.
And then they started making decisions to not do that.
Yeah.
And they all of a sudden got kind of creative. And she said that. She said, I wanted to be professional.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a serious career musician. And I think that alcohol abuse and social situations can easily bring us all into those spaces, and you just don't want to, again, the embarrassment thing, in a public place, do some stupid things, say something dumb. I hear crazy stories all the time, and it's kind of steer clear. Good decisions.
I think it's a good time to play one of your songs, Rachel. So I wrote down 3 songs that I felt would be great to feature. If you hate one of them, too bad. You wrote it, so you're going to have to live with it.
Well, I love these songs, so I mean,
I love them too.
Awesome. So the first one we have is Let's Fall, and I was listening through to this last night. It's a beautiful song.
It is.
Thank you.
So let's...
it's probably my favorite of Rachel's.
Let's play it, and then we'll return.
Let's fall in love. Let's fall apart into each other's arms. I might just ramble on. I've had too much to drink. So many people here, too much company. Too much company. I look across the room, you're looking fine as hell. I'm just so nervous, dear. You got me under your spell. Under your spell, yeah. So let's fall in love. Let's fall apart into each other's arms. Watch my life unfold. All my stories told from another perspective. Give me some kind of direction, babe. The moving truck won't fit all of our shit in it. We fight so much sometimes, I think that this is it. Maybe this is it. You catch me off my guard, surprise me every day. With everything you do, I can't just walk away. How can I walk away? So let's fall in love. Let's fall apart into into each other's arms. Watch my life unfold. All my stories told from another perspective. Give me some kind of direction, babe. I saw you looking at me. One taste was all that I need. I'll keep you on repeat till it happens. I thought after some time this thing between us would die. Maybe a little naive, but it happens. It's gonna happen. So let's fall in love. Let's fall apart into each other's arms. Watch my life unfold. All my stories told from another perspective. Give me some kind of direction, babe.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So I heard her perform that live at From the Vine, live internet stream that we did with her, our first time. And I was weeping. I got to be honest. That song gets me.
Do you see what you did?
Yeah, I'm already feeling I feel it. There's something unique about that recording. It was
you.
done very well. And you sound great.
I would love to hear that with a full 60-piece orchestra.
Oh yeah, that would be huge.
Oh my
It would be
god!
huge.
Like team up with CMAC Orchestra or
that'd be nice.
Like Rochester Philharmonic or something. Or even here, there's an orchestra, like a chamber orchestra. Oh my god, can you imagine?
It'd be amazing.
Like you, this is huge.
This is ideas.
Yes.
Sparking up.
Yeah.
Rachel Beverly with the whichever orchestra in this area, one night only. Boom.
That'd be great.
There you go.
That would be. I could play Rose, which is another.
We could do it at the Homer Center of the Arts.
Yeah, we were literally just talking about that.
Yeah. I'd pay to see that. Absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah.
I'll probably be recording it.
There's people right now like, oh my God, when is the show? When is it happening?
Oh, I know. I know one person who's definitely, if they're going to be listening to this, going to be like, yeah, that should happen.
Yeah.
Well, and it's one of those songs. This is a sign of a good song. I've heard that before, but it's not a song. And it definitely taps deep into the human psyche about just falling in love. And
it's funny when I wrote that song right before quarantine, like January 2020, maybe beginning of February 2020. And I remember coming out to my partner and being like, I am writing this song. And I was like, I don't know if it's good or not. It's something very different for me. At that point, I only had the first verse done and I hadn't written the chorus yet. And I started singing it and they were like, oh yeah. They're like, please, this is really good. Please keep going. And I finished it, and it's one of those songs that I don't sing out live too much because I don't want to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
And there's another song that's a cover song that I do, and it's "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac. That is probably one of my top 3 favorite songs, and I'll sing it when people request it, but I will not be in like my typical rotation of songs that I do, only because I love it so much and it holds a special meaning to me.
There's movies like that for me.
Yeah.
That I can't just keep accessing because I don't want to ruin it. Yeah. That's why I hate TikTok. Because sometimes I'll find a really good song and it's just every time you scroll, they're hitting it like 15 times and it's just like, man, that cheapens the song, you know.
That's the next thing too. It kind of it's a good lead in for social media and stuff
move
like that. So
there.
Get into the social media stuff. Oh man, like this is the Wild West right here. It's crazy.
I know.
Oh God,
It's dangerous out there in social media.
What do we do about it? Like, because we've already bought in, right? Everybody's bought into this,
whether they like it or not.
Yeah, society has decided that your value is based on how many followers you have. And
well, that's what I was also going to talk about earlier, is there
Yeah.
is a big facade that happens with social media, and it's it is what you want it to be, and it is what you want it to look like, and what people want you to see. I have a love-hate relationship with social media.
well, what do you love about it?
I love that I get to connect with people on a different level, you know, and I get to see things. I like, you know, when Facebook was first introduced, it was just like, obviously it was just for campuses, but it was just like, okay, this is a way to stay connected with people on,
Right.
on a different medium. We have abused it tremendously.
Yeah.
But it still rings true. Like, there's people that I haven't seen that live on the West Coast or down in Florida, or I have family that, you know, lives not in the state. I think that's what's great about it. Also, I hate, as much as I hate to admit it, I love like pop celebrity gossip a little bit.
It's your guilty pleasure.
It is a little bit my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get to like kind of see like an in on what's happening. But again, it's all put on people, put on pedestals. So
Well, it's funny you mentioned the celebrity gossip.
Yeah.
There's a show which I'm not a fan of, but my sister really wanted me to watch this show with her. It's like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
something, right? And so I was like, all right, I'll give it 5 or 10 minutes
Yeah.
and I'll watch it with you. And yeah, after like 5 minutes, it's like I
It's
can't
not me.
do it. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
I can't commit to this.
it's funny because
But she loves it.
Can't
She-
commit to this
I will
tomfoolery.
watch 15 minutes of it and like be stuck into it. Like, there's this show on
Yeah.
Netflix called like Too Hot to Handle or something.
I think
And
I
it's-
saw an episode of
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
like very mind numbing. But I'm just like, after
I don't
one
mind
episode.
mindless entertainment.
No, I don't either.
know,
I think
I-
sometimes it's
yeah.
necessary after watching like Euphoria or something.
Oh
where
my
it's
God,
just so
Euphoria is
realistic.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I haven't gotten into that yet.
I have had to.
I'm afraid.
The music in that show is fantastic.
Oh, Labyrinth
So if
did
you
a-
just take the soundtrack from that show, it's gold.
Yeah.
Well, little
Yeah.
plug for Euphoria. Check it out.
Yeah, no.
I
you know-
find
go
myself
ahead.
plugging a lot of things like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I mean, that's, or like I follow a lot of accounts that are like behind the scenes of Euphoria or like behind the scenes of this. And it's just it's in like another way of like looking at other things that I really like more in depthly, you know? But I think there's a lot of room for comparison when it comes to like different artists. And that's a problem that I've had, is like, well, this person has way more views on this video than I do. And how do I
Especially if it's the same song,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then you're just like, wait, like I did it way better than that person, but they have 5 million
or
views.
just
Right,
like, why
right.
how were they able to get on this Spotify
Yeah, it's crushing.
playlist? Or,
It's crushing
you know?
when you're
Yeah.
young. I experience that all the time.
Yeah.
And the comparison thing is a big deal. I think a lot of artists
Yeah.
deal with that. I think it's not social media that I hate. I think it's the gateway that that demands us to act certain ways to frame our art and ourselves
Right.
in it. That's the part that bothers me. Again, I definitely have a vendetta against like a TikTok thing, and yet I look at it. You know, it's like, and Reels on Instagram. I find myself, you know, doom scrolling through that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable to some degree, but I don't think on our deathbed we're going to remember TikToks that were big. I think we're going to remember songs, and we're going to remember people. And it's like, to me, it's almost serving as a barrier. I don't mean to get super negative about it, but it's kind of creating a barrier between us and the artists and music, consumer and the artist. And sometimes people get through that, and they can get in there and they can actually tap into your music. But I don't think it creates real fans.
Interesting.
I mean, I know that I'm one of those voices, but I feel like we need a better way to get control for ourselves in social media.
Well, Rachel, how have you utilized social media, and how have you like scheduled? Like, do you have a schedule for how you do it? Yeah, give us some insights into like your experience.
She's
with
very
it.
disciplined in social media.
I would say I could be more disciplined.
Yeah.
I can say that. There's some people who are like, Monday, this is what I'm going to do. And then Tuesday. During release schedule, like when I was releasing Treacherous, I, came up with this really long, like, this is Monday, we're going to do this.
Right.
Tuesday, I'm going to post this story, this. I think Instagram is great. Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, anything that you want to use is a great tool for success and getting your music out there. But I just think that there are negative side effects to it. And there came a point where I was just like, I don't want to be like, okay, I'm not successful if I don't post this tonight, or if I don't have this reel done, or if I don't do this week, because
Does it affect your creativity?
sometimes, yeah. I mean, I don't want to, it's like when I wrote Let's Fall, I wasn't like, I need to sit down and write this song about love. Like most of the reels or stuff that I have on Instagram or stuff was because I had time free, and this is like how I like spending my time, But now coming into my busy season, it's just like I'm not going to be like force myself to be like, you have to make this real. You have to put this on. That this is what's going to make you successful, Yeah, I think that there are people who have that disciplined schedule. But
Emma was in here, and she was saying how it's almost like you need an extra member of your band in order to stay focused on the music without it diminishing your creative workflow. I would agree. I feel like it's almost, and she also said that has become what the band manager used to be.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to become your own manager when you're engaging in social media in a way that's connecting you with people. Well,
I was saying this to John and Tyler the last time I was in the studio. I like Gavin DeGraw a lot, and like Colby Calais, and like they were big in like the early mid 2000s.
Yeah, I remember them.
I was scrolling through TikTok a couple days ago, and I saw Colby Calais singing Bubbly, and she's like, "Can you count me in?" TikTok, super cute, super catchy. Yeah. But I just said to John, I was like, she might have been like, just like, I really want to go on TikTok, but maybe like her publicist or like her record label is like, this is something like that you need to hop on the bandwagon and do, So
yeah, there's that pressure, right? A little bit of that pressure to do it because you feel like we're in the like matrix sometimes, right?
Yeah.
It's like, are you actually really falling behind if you're not doing this stuff?
Right.
And like you kind of are, because everybody else is moving with it seems, at least.
Well,
but if you're also busy and you're playing tons of shows, perhaps it feels like you don't really need to do that as much, because there's this buzz around you, and like you are, what is it that you are what you do, right? So if you are performing all the time, then you're that thing. That's what you are, and people are going to just be like, oh, I have to see her live because this is what she does and she's awesome. Like,
well, and I also want to hit on the fact that certain people are much better at it because they know it's trending. Right. And so they're creating media that they know it's absolutely going to connect with this like monster that's moving around from subject to subject within a day or two. That is just not going to like be sympathetic with your song. Like, unless you happen to luck out and at that moment your song seems to be hitting something that's trending. Right. I could see that happening. But I would say because...
But love is always trending, right?
Yeah.
Well, it is. But a lot of these TikToks are...
I mean, can I do the Lizzo dance
and reels?
Have you seen the Lizzo dance?
I don't think I've seen that, though.
See, I'm the type of person who... the song's called It's About Damn... Can I swear on this?
Say whatever you want.
All right. The song's called It's About Damn Time. Okay. And... I would do the dance now, but the music's not going. Anyway, I learned the dance. I did it in front of my bathroom mirror. I recorded myself. I put it together on TikTok. It's for me. I did it for nobody else, I showed it to one of my coworkers at work. He's like, "Are you posting these?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Why not? You could get so many views." And I was like, "I don't want to post it. It's for me." It's like I have fun doing that, because I want to do it.
Okay, so that's genuine. That's genuine. I just, again, I feel like it. And I hate to be the negative voice here, but
oh God, John.
I know
every time, John.
It will be. I have very strong feelings about this subject.
No, it's good. It's good. That's why we talk about it.
And we can argue about it in a nice way. I feel like it's hurting art. I feel that art is ancient. It's been around for thousands of years. Never have we had the pressure of thrusting ourselves into this very limited form of media to promote ourselves in such a way. And I feel like we are losing even the ability to have smart consumers that enjoy smart and good music these days. Remember, we were talking about that because they're being so trained in this mentality.
Yeah. I mean, I will agree that I don't think it has lessened people being creative, though. Like, I think more than ever, people are being really creative. I mean, weren't you saying like that statistic like a year or two ago, like that 10,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify a day or something?
It's 60,000 now.
Yeah, I mean,
60,000. Yeah.
I mean,
so the creativity is there. I think there's a huge mass of people that are being creative, but I don't think that they have a functional way to connect with their audiences.
Yeah.
Because live venues are tough to get into, and social media is very specific about how they connect. So.
I kind of like your approach, Rachel. Though it's just like get shows, just play as many as you can.
I do too.
I'm having a good time.
I like the live venue way better than the social media way.
To try it and
by the way, I'm not against any of the stuff. I just think that there's a better way. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but social media in 5 years from now, what we're talking about, it's probably still not going to be relevant. There's going to be another way. There's always going to be another way, and it's
just as long as we don't lose our human connection and we don't lose the soul of creative DNA. And I don't think good music comes from algorithmic or demographically driven music. Once in a while, yes. Yeah. There's that pressure, and there's a good hit song that happens or something. But I'm even feeling like, what is even a song anymore?
Yeah.
People aren't even listening fully to songs anymore.
I think it's like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Is about like that's how it's measured actually. Like how many 3-second views did you get?
Right.
And
that's
is
one
that
of the
something
parameters.
we're gonna lose? Are we gonna lose songs?
We'll have a revolution, and it'll all come
I sure
back
hope
around.
so. I sure hope so.
I mean, I don't think that like at least I hope in my mind that like when people go into the studio and record, like whether it be anybody, that they're like being like, we need to make a song that's like going to catch your ear in 3 seconds, or else I don't want to do this at all. Like I hope that still, and I know that when I go into the studio, I'm just like, I'm doing this because I love it, and I'm doing it because this is the way I envision my song being heard and the experience taking place. I think we're going back to like that 1 in a million thing. I mean, like look at Harry Styles now. He was like a boy who was on X Factor, which was a 1 in a million chance, you know?
Right.
Made it out of this 5 boy band group. One Direction is the one now that is like blowing up, but that could have been anybody.
It sure.
You know? I don't think that Harry Styles goes into the studio being like, I need to have like the best song right now. I still think that there's still that creativity, and I might be romanticizing it a little bit, but I think that might what helped me at the end of the day. So
I feel like a career in music though needs to be redefined. Especially we had a podcast name we were tossing around, blue collar musician. I value Philharmonic people, or even operatic people today. They cling to an art form that's just completely out of time, sync with the times, and yet that's their career path. They've gone to school for this. They've trained for this stuff. It's very
there's
special,
still an audience for it.
Right.
It's
a niche audience. And so I feel like we need to redefine success for career musicians. And that could mean that they're not the Harry Styles story. And quite often I think that's more of the truth than we like to realize, is that we're going to be the artist in the region that people will know. And we add something rich to culture through that.
I mean, going back to what you said about when you're sitting on your deathbed, as you're thinking about this 15-second TikTok. No, obviously not.
No one's going to remember that.
I sent to everybody,
that
and I
TikTok
was
did.
like, oh wow, it's an avocado. Like that's what I'm going to be thinking about.
Oh no.
I'm gonna,
Yeah,
I'm going to be thinking about the experiences that music has made me, like playing on Mother's Day.
Maybe it's where someone's descending into hell, they'll remember some TikToks.
Oh my god.
Like I will say, So this, I just played on Mother's Day, and there's this song by Taylor Swift. It's called "The Best Day" that I always sing for my mom on Mother's Day, and my mom was there on Mother's Day, and
sure.
it was packed, there. And so my mom had to come like pretty close to me, and I looked over at her, and the song was ending, and I don't choke up a lot on stage, and I choked up. And it's just one of those moments that will always remember,
Sure.
And so those are the things.
That to me is what music people are for.
Yeah.
And artists, like you said in the beginning of the show, you're giving voice to something deep inside of people. Mm-hmm. And it's, I've seen somebody say, he's an author, a friend of mine, you cannot capture meaningful moments in however many characters Twitter allows per post. And music is the most amazing and rich experience I've ever had that have unlocked things and unpacked things in my emotional state that have, it gave voice. It gave voice and clarity,
That's always a really interesting thing. You just jogged my mind about this, but like what if, it's risky, but nothing is saying that a band could just make an announcement like, hey, we're done. We're done with socials. If you want to talk to us and figure out what's going on with us, you got to come to see us at a show. And I think if you have enough interest already, you could potentially do that. Like if you're just starting out, it might be hard, but if you've been doing it and then all of a sudden you're just like, I'm done. And then maybe another band would say, oh, okay, I'm done too. And then it's all just about, you got to come to the show if you want to catch up with us.
I know artists like that.
Yeah. And then we're having a big party afterwards.
Anna Coogan, she's like, I'm just done with this thing. She's a local artist.
Yeah.
Beautiful artist, really unique, special, just very different. Many people probably wouldn't enjoy it as much, but she has a specific audience. Johnny Dowd is the same way. I'm talking about Ithaca people here. Mm-hmm. But, one of the things that I feel like it's my responsibility in life here at New Vine is to teach artists to value themselves by saying no and making it an exclusive offering to a fan base that actually gives a shit about what they do.
Saying no, that's a big one. Rachel, has there what are some times you can remember where like you had to turn down a show?
I guess
I'm putting you on the spot here.
That's okay. I don't.
When was your first kiss, Rachel? What's your favorite color?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
My favorite color is changing all the time.
Me too.
No is a hard word for me to say just because I'm a people pleaser deep down. But I think knowing your worth as a musician is also like, we could go into like economically wise, hey, I can't do this show. Like that's a little bit too little for me. And this is something John and I have talked about. Is like, and this is something that I, as an artist, have grown tremendously a lot, is like turning down a show and saying like it's a little bit too far away from me. Like I can't play that show, or just turning it down because knowing that I might be unsafe or not having a safe feeling about it either. So,
and perhaps like negotiating.
Negotiating.
And saying, hey, like this is not enough for me to do the show to my fullest capabilities. How about this amount instead? And then at least you're giving them a chance to save face. You know?
Just knowing your worth as a musician.
I think we need a union again. I feel like music.
I kind of like that idea actually.
And I know that's a tough thing to hear for certain people, but
that's right, Ithaca. The unions come in.
I mean, I've talked with other artists that have been at New Vine, and we've thrown it around that it would be a valuable thing to do so. Anyway, that's another show.
Yeah, that's another show. But let's play another song.
Yeah, let's do that
because Rachel is extremely talented songwriter, and the next one that I have here is Our Love. As we've been talking about, Mother's Day was recent, and there's love is always trending, right? So this is Our Love, and a few words about the song.
This is a song that I recorded over the summer of 2021, which just seems crazy, with New Vine Records. Released it in September of 2021 and did a live music video right here on New Vine Records, where we are sitting currently, with Michael Wu, Tyler Flewelling, John Carter, and I.
It was fun.
Which was a lot of fun. It was shot by Jeff Hodges. And the song is about basically capturing the essence of any type of love and knowing that any kind of outside force cannot come between it, whether it be a love between two humans or music and a human or just kind of anything, knowing that like, or a love between a new car that I just got, you know?
Yeah.
It could be anything. So, yeah.
Which you have right now.
I know.
It's a deep love.
A deep love, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, here's Our Love by Rachel Beverly.
Come to me every time you run so fast, high on our love. Dreamed of days when it would be like this. Must be heaven and ecstasy without the hit. I'm so far up, I'm afraid to come down. But this is how we do it, baby. How we make it through it, baby. Never have to ruin, 'cause it's our love. Our love. Tell me all your secrets, darling. I promise I'll keep them, darling. Never have to worry, 'cause it's our love. Our love. Crazy. Yeah, maybe just a bit, but I won't quit on you. 'Cause baby, they may hate to see what I see in you, but I won't stop for you. 'Cause this is how we do it, baby. How we make it through it, baby. Never have to ruin, 'cause it's our love. Our love. Tell me all your secrets, darling. I promise I'll keep them, darling. Never have to worry, 'cause it's our love. Our love. Darling, I promise I'll keep them, darling. Never have to worry, 'cause it's our love. Our love. Yeah.
I remember when you sent the first draft of this after you and Tyler worked on it. I was on it was like last summer, and I was on my way to a show down in Pennsylvania, and I remember I called you and I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh my God. That was like, then you mentioned this, like every time we work together, it just, we learn more about each other, get more comfortable, and it just kind of, each song gets better and better. So
our demo sessions have been super creative and fun. And I love tapping into what you offer. Thank you. That's what inspires me. I'm actually quite useless until songwriters inspire me. So
you're a useful guy.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I fix cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. But
what?
Anyway, what?
I was listening to that song, and oh man, I had this picture of just like being in like a convertible or just like an awesome Jeep or something, or maybe a Bronco. I don't know.
Okay.
And
Don't make me blush over my Bronco.
Wind in hair.
Wind in hair, just like summer day on the highway, just like having fun. People in the back seat, just like laughing, telling jokes. Like a dog, like a golden retriever, his head's out the window. Like that's the scene.
You literally just described the total substance of Rach.
There you go.
Except instead of golden retrievers, they're black beauties. My
Black beauties.
two black babies. Yeah.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the concept, I think we talked a little bit about it before the song played, is that, you know, I think sometimes outside factors kind of ruin what's happening right now in the moment, you know, and not a lot of people take the time to be able to be like, okay, like this is what we're doing right now. Like we're having a podcast, like we're talking together, you know, and not realizing like in that moment, like might have been the best time of your life, or, you know, it might have been a moment that you look back a couple months from now and it's like, wow, I really want to replicate that moment, you know, and because I think a lot of people try to ruin it, or not even people, just outside forces. And that's what the song is about, is not letting anybody touch what's important to you.
Sense of ownership of that moment.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Yeah.
Like this moment here, this is our moment right here.
It's so romantic, Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're the romantic. I love it. It's big. It's the one thing I love about her music. She exemplifies romance, and it's genuine. It's not. You're like the love poet here at New Vine.
There you go.
We enjoy that.
Thank you.
That's excellent. So moving on, I want to get into a bit of like routines. I wanted to ask you, like, what routines do you have to stay productive? I think that's something a lot of artists struggle with. I know, like, I also struggle with that, just having structure. And
I mean, I'm definitely, I think I need structure. I fall into the habit where, because I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, an early job, that when I do go to my shows Thursday through Sunday, and sometimes they're late shows, waking up later on in the day does kind of throw me off. So realizing, you know, that's something that I just kind of learned this year is, hey, let's, instead of rolling out of bed at 10 or 10:30, you know, let's try to be up and about, having a cup of coffee on the deck or taking care of the dogs at 8 o'clock and then getting your day started. As far as, you know...
So you're thinking ahead.
Yeah, you know, as far as like setting aside time to like write a song, I've tried to do that in the past and I haven't been like very creative, just because I have, you know, gone through dry spells and it's been like, I don't want to force myself
to do that.
I think practicing writing songs is great, and I'm not saying that, but I just like I'll come home from work on a Monday night planning on watching like TV or something, and then all of a sudden something will inspire me and I'll write a song, you know. I think that happened like a few weeks back. I was making dinner listening to Hallucinogenics. I don't even remember who the song's by, but and something on the guitar riff got me, and I was like, I really want to learn this song. I learned it, and then I ended up writing a song because of it. So
that's cool. So inspiration.
Yeah.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like not playing a show? Yeah? Can you give us a percentage, maybe?
Oh,
I have to go play a show.
The percentage, now we have to do math now.
I know.
Oh, man, sorry.
Thanks.
I would say, I think Sam and I were talking about this, you know, and you were like, wow, you have 50 shows. Last summer, I remember I had like 60 or like maybe 65, and I was getting so burnt out towards the end, and it just got very repetitive. And I think that's why time off is such a beautiful thing. And, or, you know, like during the summer months, I really love the summer. And I sometimes feel left out when other people are going to do things, and I'm like really grinding away.
The FOMO.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah. And I tried to leave myself, like, so the Saturday before 4th of July, a show was, actually my partner realized this. She's like, do you want to keep this open or you want to try to book something? And I was like, keep it open, because we never really get to do anything for the 4th of July, and maybe we can actually go do something. So realizing that, like, okay, like I need to take time for myself. You
know, it's funny. I've had that experience playing in bands where I hadn't touched the guitar or bass or anything for a month. And then you have that practice back and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm amazing all of a sudden. You just feel inspired and everything feels tactile. You get numb to the music somehow. Your brain just disconnects if it's just too repetitive, too much, too many things. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something about feeling burnt out, and I think a really good way to help prevent the burnout when you're doing a lot of shows is to make sure that you have a really good writer, and that you have like, you know, you're going to provide entertainment,
right?
And if you know that at the show you're going to have a green room,
right?
You're going to have Doritos,
right?
Which are amazing.
Sounds like you like Doritos.
Yeah, or whatever, you know, M&Ms and Twix.
Cool Ranch.
Like if you know, like, and not unreasonable things.
Right.
Like, you can get a Twix bar. Like, someone can get me a Twix bar if I'm going to be playing an hour and a half show, right?
Sure.
So having those things in place, and then so if you know you've got those built in, you know, you in turn, the venue is going to respect you a lot more because you know what you need and what you want to in order to put on a good show.
Right.
So and that's conversations I've had with other artists. Is some of them are afraid to ask for what they want or what they need because they feel like they're imposing on the venue, and like, no, they're already paying us, and like, you know, we don't want to like overstep. It's like, no, like, you don't have to be mean about it, but like, you have a rider for a reason.
See,
these are the things you
Right.
need,
Right.
and you need to step into that power and say like, we're gonna give you the best fucking show that you've seen.
But this
make
is what
these
I
things
need.
happen
Right.
for us
this
within reason.
This is creating value again.
And this is creating value,
Right.
exactly. So, yeah, I
practices
just
of
bring
creating
that up.
value. It's that writers, people make fun of them. There's a lot of jokes out there, and there were ridiculous.
Well, some are ridiculous.
You know,
but,
everybody knows the stories. I'm not going to even go there; it's too cliche. But the fact is that that's a self-care thing for the band, for you.
Yeah.
And it helps avoid burnout because then it's
correct.
like, okay, like I'm gonna have my space.
Right.
I know I'm gonna have my special drink, whatever it is.
But not every show is like that. Not every show you don't have a writer, especially when you're an acoustic act too.
Yeah, sure. Depends, I guess, though. But
yeah,
like you could. I'm sure you could have. I don't know what your situation is with that. Like, do you, like what do you have in advance for the shows, or it's different every time?
I mean, it's different every time. I mean, especially if I'm writing by myself to the show too. Yeah. And then I'm setting up, you know. But then that's also just like giving yourself enough time to relax after you set up, and then before you go on, or like what is a pre-show ritual, or you know, like what do you do to make yourself feel like in the moment, or you know, like when after I get out of the car after a long car ride or something, I always stretch to like because I found that like I was like super tensed up after being in the car for a long time, you know, just things that make me feel in the zone or make me feel more comfortable. And that's like the burnout thing, or realizing that, okay, I can't really maybe not pull like 4 shows back to back, or maybe a double header, and then, you know, like doing this, you know, especially if they're farther away. So
that's great. So what would you say as a parting message to up-and-coming artists out there finding their pathway, developing? What would some advice be from Rachel Beverly?
Oh, man, that's like heavy stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
advice, do it because you love it, not because you're trying to be something that you're not, or just trying to do something because you're fitting in, and all the rest is going to follow, you know. If somebody asked me 5 years ago, would I think that I'd be in this room talking to you guys? No, but it's something that I loved. And like when I first started performing, I was performing at opening mic nights, and I was just thinking about day to day to day to day, you know, like I do think about like, what does the year bring? What does 5 years bring? But I'm just thinking about like, I'm doing this because I love it, you know?
That's awesome.
I think all the rest will fall into place. So
that's great. That's great advice.
Thank you.
So according to your website, your next show is at the Finger Lakes house. Is that right? Or did we pass that already?
Yeah. No, yeah.
All right, it's coming up.
Yep.
Okay. I forget what day it is sometimes.
Oh, yeah, ditto.
Me too.
So the Finger Lakes house in Elmira, and it is at, 6 p.m. Is it a 2-hour set?
2-hour show, yeah, 6 to 8 p.m.
Just you.
Just me,
doing 2 hours.
Well, and then I have Saturday I'll be at Brewers Cafe, but I just found out I'm playing a 4-hour show. I'm doing a private party.
At Brewers?
Yeah, I'm doing a private
gosh.
party 4 to 6 and then 6 to 8. So
Dang.
Wow. So the Brewers one, so it's not open to the public?
No, it is the 6 to 8 part.
The 6 to 8 part is, okay. That's right. That's right here.
Right next door, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like Brewers.
I love Brewers.
Good
Great
food,
people.
good beer, good people. So we're gonna hit the last song, and this one is one of my faves, "Dancing in a Snow Globe," and it was kind of the Christmas song this year from Rachel. And honestly, I had such a great time doing this with Rachel and a very talented producer out of Nashville. His name is Evan Sealing, and he added a lot of elements that kind of gave it the vibe that I thought we were looking for.
Yeah, it was very special. Did you play on this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I was gonna get there.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say also that John
like-
scripted out the drum part, and so like it was laid out, and then I came in and executed it, and it was just a great drum.
It was our first real connect, and I was so impressed with Fish, and I've heard him play on stuff, but man, I just had to have him on the track because he did. He walked in, he knew exactly what to do, and nailed it.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 takes, maybe.
Yeah, it was a solid. But again, because we had the part scripted out ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so I could just come in and like,
Well,
was there.
That's what they do down in the old Nashville.
That's what they do, yeah.
That's right. So this is Dancing in a Slow Globe?
Snow.
Dancing in a Snow Globe. Here we go.
There was this girl dancing in a snow globe. Always known the whole world was so close but far out of reach. There was this boy walking down the hallway, getting all the good grades, just trying so hard to fit in. He hurries home, trenching through the wet snow, just to get to a snow glow. He says, I miss you, my friend. She asked him, how's your day? He said, it's not the same without you here. I don't wanna go back, and I'll stay with you forever in here. She says, she'll say, you silly boy, you don't wanna stay with me. I'm no good company. Why can't you see? You silly boy, you don't wanna dance with me. One day I'll wake up and see you'll forget all about me. She asked him, how's your day? He said, it's not the same without you here. I don't wanna go back, and I'll stay with you forever in there. She says, she'll say, you silly boy, please sit, I'll explain how this will go. I might just be a toy, I've seen more things than anybody knows. Right now I understand you might be sad, you gotta let go. There'll come a time when you find all the puzzle pieces falling out like the snowflakes right here between us. You might not hear me now, one day I'll think about me. Please don't forget about me. You don't wanna dance with me. One day you'll wake up and see. Please don't forget about me.
That was our discovery that Rachel is a country artist at heart. And that was Dancing in a Snow Globe.
I'm not mad about it.
No, me neither. I love country music.
I do.
So we're going to end the podcast. Thank you for being with us, Rachel.
Thank you guys for having me.
Always
it was
a huge pleasure.
Special hour and a couple minutes, or even more than that. I can't. Time is fleets away in the moments like this. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That means you're having fun, as they say. And so we just want to kind of do something we do at the end of our podcast. You can help us pick it out. But who should we have next on the show?
So I think Friday we have Timothy coming on.
We have Timothy. Yeah.
But then we need something for after that.
Yeah. So who do you guys think? Let's.
I don't know. I think.
We didn't talk about this before at all.
No.
Not at all.
What?
Huh?
Stars.
You guys might have.
Maybe.
Lions. Oh, wait. Leo?
Oh, what?
Yeah, I think we should do Leo.
Okay, that's awesome.
We knew that, though. You know Leo, right?
You mean Hannah?
Yeah. Leo's
going
to be fun because most people don't know this until way too later. But she's my daughter. And what? I get to play. Yeah. You didn't know this?
That's the plot twist.
Yes, plot twist. And, we've been working together for years. She's also the CEO of New Vine Records.
Wow.
And she took that role beginning of this year. And she's doing a crazy good job. And I'm so impressed because, she's 23 years old. And she's my boss. So I don't know what to say other than I better be on my best behavior at this next podcast.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks again, Rachel.
Thank you guys so much for having me here.
Right.
I really appreciate it.
Cool. Same.
All right.